Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian beaches on the beautiful big island of Hawaii. Yay! Yay! So excited to share with you today. I've witnessed some intense energies since last night, including some tension in the body, and it was amazing. It was just amazing. Just in allowing it, just in allowing it. And that's what I noticed is a trouble for most people is not allowing it, not just allowing the intense energy, not allowing the body tension. See, body tension is an interpretation of energy. It's an interpretation. So, that could just be sensation to you. That could just be sensation. It doesn't have to be anything else to you. It doesn't have to mean anything. It's not talking about you. The illusion doesn't say anything about you. The illusion says what you're not. You're not something that's capable of being tense. You can say that giving yourself the tension is itself is kind of like a child of your own consciousness. If you make it a bad child and push it away and don't want it, then of course it's going to persist because it's an upset feeling. When an upset feeling is met with upset, then it's just perpetuating itself. Every upset feeling can be met with gratitude in this instant. If you're not focused on a thought about the past or the future, you can have that miracle right now of a changed perception. It doesn't matter what you're feeling. To be just as deserving as ever of a miracle. But what people buy into, the ego's food, the ego's wisdom, that if you're feeling an upset feeling or you're experiencing tension in your body, something must be wrong. See? Something must be wrong in your mind. That's what the ego, but the ego wants it to be like something is wrong with you. Like you're undeserving in somehow. Like you need to change this. And that's really the whole thing. It's like, if I need to change the way I feel, then I'm not really embracing it. I'm not really feeling it. I'm getting a perception that I'm feeling it. There's a bunch of pain, but I'm not really feeling what it is. Beneath any kind of upset feeling, you could say the opposite of that upset feeling is excitement. Because of what it's bringing, because it's what it's showing. So an upset feeling deserves gratitude. And that's how that upset feeling becomes like a nectar. It witnesses, every upset feeling can witness to the love of God. See? The upset feeling represents a love of ego. It's not bad. You chose the ego and produced this feeling. It's like your child. It's like a child of your mind. Choosing the ego's thoughts produces this feeling. The feeling isn't wrong. All that's wrong is the ego's thoughts, which you're buying into, which is based on the belief that you separated yourself to reality. The feeling itself is showing you where it is. It's showing you where you can allow more compassion. There's no pain in the feeling itself. There's pain in the mind that's interpreting it, and that pain is basically fear. The pain is taken out on the body. It's an upset feeling in the body. It manifests as pain, but it's fear. And the fear is fear of pain. So you know how what you fear is brought upon you? It could be very fun, and no matter how much pain you think you have, no matter how much suffering you seem to be going through, it can be so beautiful. That's up to you. That's up to you. It can be so beautiful. Just in asking for what you are already worthy of and what you really already have. And basically, what you're asking is to see who you are instead of the thoughts that say who you're not. So it's like when you have an upset feeling, you're viewing thoughts that say who you are not. So, in asking for the miracle, it's kind of like, let me see who I am. Because that's a pure joy. God's love for you, it can't be compared to anything on earth. And at any moment, you can ask for that. And that's a changed perception. It's a changed perception. You're not glued to the thought that's crossing your mind that's making you into something that you're not. It's just allowed to be there, and it's allowed to pass again. It's funny. It's kind of like a game. The whole world is like a game. And the title that came to me for this one is The World is Meaningless. Now, the world includes a feeling sensation, a thought vibration, everything that you can see in the outer world, all the news. And if you're watching conspiracy theories, that's it too. It's just all deception. All of it's deception. It's all one thing. People often will tell me, well, I'm really not where you are yet, Hope, because it just seems to be right there for you. It just seems to be right there. You just know. Well, if you're perceiving me, that is also within you. If you're perceiving me like that, that is within you. It's something that you can totally access. And all the time, there's no time when you have to be taken off center, but by your choice. It's a feeling of unworthiness. But if you perceive me like that, if you perceive me as being, right on it and just able to see what it is right away without getting swept up into some kind of thing, yeah, you've got that. That means you've got it. Okay? You can't even perceive that. You can't even perceive something like that unless it's available to you. You can't perceive anything unless it's available to you. You have that in you, and all there is to do is to relax your judgments. See, that's a judgment that gets made about an upset feeling. Oh, I don't like to feel like this. And not liking to feel like it is no problem. That's good. That's good. You don't like to feel like that. That's fine. And then what doesn't like to feel like that is not even you anyways. You're witnessing that. You could say you're the awareness of that. Let's say you're the awareness of what's witnessing to illusions. So when you get the feedback that you don't like the feeling, you get that feedback, you just make a pause. Oh, that means it can change. And, an excitement about that it can change, because it's not up to you to make the change in your feeling. It's not up to you to make the change in your feeling. In fact, let that desire to change the feeling be impersonal. Okay, it's already known. There's a desire to have a good feeling. Okay, we want to feel good. Yes, we do. That's already known. But you don't have to do anything about that. You don't have to do anything about that. All there is to see that. See that there's a better feeling wanted. See that the feeling is coming from fear. And ask for what's already yours. Ask for a miracle. Miracle is a change in perception. See, most people aren't asking for a change in perception. They want to keep the perception. Keep the thoughts that make up this upset feeling. Make those thoughts real and yet feel better. It's not going to happen. You cannot keep your ideas about things and also feel better. You cannot. If it's a judgmental idea and it hurts, you can't keep that and feel better. Do you see what I mean? If there's something, let's give it for instance, with this whole government thing, there's lots of conspiracy stuff going around. And people are upset about what they see on the conspiracy videos, And the thing about anything that you perceive, to make it very general, is that it's meaningless. It's a dream. Nothing's happening here. And here's another thing. In the illusory world, you cannot help anyone by being upset. It doesn't help. Even in the illusion, because the illusion's reflecting the mind. This is a reflection of believing in what justifies an upset feeling. All that we see is a reflection of the thought of separation. It can't be more important. It can't be more important than it is right now to see that the world is meaningless, especially if it's scaring the shit out of you in any way. There's all these different ideas and people look at it different ways. People have different reasons for being afraid. There's the people who aren't believing the conspiracy theories. Maybe they're believing something else. Maybe they're believing that the COVID thing is really bad and the people are really bad who are not social distancing, for instance, and their life is at stake. Or I don't know, maybe maybe just afraid to go outside or something like that. Fear is fear is fear is fear is fear. And you know what? One perspective isn't more right than another. It's based on conditioning. Whatever you seem to be afraid of, that's not the right thing or the wrong thing to be afraid of. It's just fear. And whatever anyone else seems to be afraid of, that's not the right or wrong thing for them to be afraid of. It's just fear. And the fear is arising out of your own mind. The first manifestation of the fear is your body's energy field. Get to know the feeling of fear. It's juicy. It's juicy. It's actually entertaining. It's actually really entertaining. You'll go, Hope, why and how are you always like on? Like not, oh, it's so, like that. Because it's fucking funny when the ego talks. It's hilarious. It's a joke to me. It's a total joke. Any upset feeling, and you know, having the perception of a human body brings about upset feelings. So I'm right with you guys in having upset feelings arise. It's just, they're fun and funny to me. I don't think it's a problem. They come and they go. It's like kind of like wind. It's windy right now. Oh, it's blustery. I experience that in Hawaii a lot. Oh, it's blustery right now. Not a good time to have a smoke. And then a couple minutes later, it's sunny. Or it's raining like a mofo. You know, it's all fun. You know, it even transfers over. You know, your attitude will change about the weather even if you allow it. Oh, I wish it wasn't raining. I had plans. See? You don't know what you want. Yay! So it can just go the way it goes. All the different fluctuations can occur. They can occur in the weather that seems to be outside of you. They can occur in the weather of the body's energy field, which also seems to be outside of you. See, I say seems to be outside of you because the body's energy field is the body, but the body is also a projection. The energy field, the body, the sensations that arise in it. But it's just a projection in the mind by not outside of you. And this is what, the mind's really resistant to seeing this. It's not outside of you. It's actually not outside of you as in it's not happening, but you're viewing it, kind of like virtual reality viewing it. It doesn't touch you. There's a witness. Let's say there's a witness. There's a false witness. Let's call this witness a false witness. There's a false witness that witnesses to upset feelings. It's an interpretation. Upset feeling is an interpretation. The false witness, it feels upset about it. It feels like it's being affected by that upset feeling. But you are really aware of that witness and the feeling, both of those. So even if the witness feels like it's affected, you have dominion over that. Even if the witness is taking it as if I am affected by this, you have the final say in that because you are before what's witnessing the upset feeling. Now, if anyone would like any clarification on that, let me know. You are aware of what's witnessing the upset feeling. So this upset feeling and this witness, what's witnessing it, also projected from your mind, which you're aware of both of them. And they're really one thing. Same for the joyful feeling. Same for the joyful feeling, yes. In a dream, all feelings are illusion. And you could say that in the dream, there is a thought system that speaks to the truth. It's also an illusion. See, there needed to be another illusion to counteract the illusion that the ego made, to give you a choice. To give you a choice. If you only had the ego's thought system, there would be no choice. There's an illusion of all kinds of choices. The illusion of all kinds of choices. But no choice to escape the illusion. No choice to see what's really true. The spirit's thought system is right alongside the ego thought system. And you can tell when you are in alignment with, let's say, thinking with, allowing the spirit to be your guide. See, you can tell because your feeling is uplifted. You can notice that your feeling is uplifted when you're taking the spirit as your guide. Now, I've shared with someone before, in the midst of sadness, because sadness is not something you're capable of at all. So in the midst of sadness, sadness is appearing on the screen of consciousness, never touching you. In the midst of sadness or depression or anger or rage, you can be glad. You can be glad at the same time. That gladness comes from your awareness that there is another choice. There is another choice. Whenever you find yourself in any kind of confusion, frustration, any of it, it doesn't matter how intense, there always is another choice. And when you're aware that there's another choice, you're glad no matter how bad it feels. No matter how intense that seems, you're glad. And in that gladness, you're awakening. That's what I talked about before, probably many programs ago, where I talked about the holy fire, where there's an upset feeling, but it's burning itself out in your mind. And it feels like it's hot, and it feels like it's hot in a productive way. And the evidence reveals itself to you. The evidence reveals itself to you. Because you just get a sense of peace and calmness with everything. The mind is quiet. It doesn't need to engage in chitter chatter. And when you find it engaging in chitter chatter, it's completely okay. You're glad about it. You know, everything just flows so much easier like that. Does one demand the other? Well, okay, and this is Jerry talking about the two thought systems, I believe. I think that's where I was when he wrote that. Does one demand the other? You can say that the ego's thought system demands the spirit's thought system, and that's the only reason that illusion is there. But without the ego thought system, you don't need a spirit thought system to choose between. See, they're both illusions. So you can say, because of the love God has for you, your creator, goddess, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. Because of the love your creator has for you, it's automatic that if you think against yourself, you're gonna get help. And that's what that thought system is for. You have that thought system, you have the Holy Spirit's guidance, which basically is speaking the thought system of the Spirit to you all the time. Like I said before on previous programs, He knows who you are and He loves you just like the Creator. It could be a she, it doesn't matter. And the Holy Spirit also knows what you think about yourself, what you made of yourself, which you could say your Creator doesn't know anything about that. The Creator doesn't see in separation. If the Creator saw in separation, the whole mind would see in separation, and that would be futile. You don't see in separation. Let's say that. You're having a perception of an illusion that your mind made that you are separate. The Creator didn't condone that, but the Creator gave you a guide, which is also an illusion. The Holy Spirit's job will be done as soon as this world is seen through. That guide is always speaking to you from the thought system that will undo the ego's thought system if you just allow it. Okay, Orba. Reposting here. Oh, I probably didn't look at the Q&A. I do see there's one there. Okay, thank you. Hope you can say, Hope, that's me. Can you say more about how we are before what's witnessing the upset feeling? Okay, how we are. I'm not really sure where you're going with that. How we are before what's witnessed. Okay, I think I know what you mean. The witness of the upset feeling is a fearful thought. It's manufactured in the mind. You have to have a witness. You have to have an artificial witness. You cannot see an upset feeling. You don't really see it. You're viewing it as a perception, and what's perceiving is a thought structure based on the thought of separation. So what is witnessing the problem and making it out to be a problem? Any problem, upset feeling, any problem, making it out to be a problem, that's in your awareness. It's not happening to you. It's happening, if it is happening at all, which it's really not, to a thought structure. This thought structure has to be able to believe that it can have an upset feeling. See, it's based on beliefs. It believes it's capable of having an upset feeling. It believes it deserves an upset feeling. It believes that it deserves to have problems. Okay, so what you are is nothing like that. How can you be the one that's witnessing to problems when you're not even capable of having problems? That's nonsense. What the body's senses are reporting back to the witness are nonsense, and to interpret it like that is also nonsense. And it's all a huge blessing and deserving of your gratitude, because it shows you exactly where you can use some more compassion. And in seeing that, the light of your awareness allows it to be so. That's all. That's all there is. And, if you're asking yourself, why do I keep on falling into the ego trap? That very question is an ego trap. That very question is. See, you're asking a question of the ego right there. That question is for the ego. There is no time. Nothing has happened. Who you are is impersonal. So it comes down to right now, when the question arises, why do I keep on falling into this ego trap? To allow compassion for that. That's not a good feeling. That's not a joyful feeling. When there's not a joyful feeling, compassion is needed. That's all. Take care of your child. What's witnessing the upset feeling is your child. The upset feeling is also your child. Be kind. Be kind to them. And they'll become like a beautiful song, a beautiful song of awakening. Your song. Okay? Wish you could see me nodding my head. Oh, yay. Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, how fun. Are you making a distinction between the Creator and the Holy Spirit? Yes, I am. Yay. The Creator is eternal. Holy Spirit is like a gift of the Creator given you while you think you're separate. There's no use for the Holy Spirit once you don't think you're separate. The Holy Spirit knows you're not separate and is also in your mind knowing what it is you think you are. So yes, there is a distinction between them. Hooray. Thank you. All right. You sit for a moment. It seems like there's something. Other people's judgment. Oh, yes. One of my favorites. It's so fun. There aren't other people. The judgment that's being perceived is just a reflection of thinking that you're capable of being judged. The thought structure. Remember, you're not thinking these things. You're not capable of thinking these things. You set up something to think them. You made something to think these things. Let's say that. You're created according to the will of God, you could say. You're created according to the will of your Creator, which is love. You're not capable of thinking apart from love. Thoughts occur to you. They come from the deceiver. They're deceptive thoughts. You can't get it wrong, ever. Glory, baby. Yay. Oh, let me go to unmute. There you go.
Hello.
Yay.
Yay.
Beautiful to see you.
You too. Oh my goodness. I just came off 6 days of wow.
Yes, yeah. Tell us about the lovely lady who you were going to hang out with and how your relationship with her was transpiring.
So remember I told you about the lady that that we were moving the chair for her and I had a big issue. I mean, the other lady got pissed off and I screamed at her. I was like, that's why you had a heart attack, you know? Okay, so with the chair lady, her name is Pat. Her husband died in January. And on the airplane, after they came around the world trip, they were just finishing. And I noticed that she represents my mother because when I'm with her, she's telling me what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And I feel like I'm 5 again. Oh, there's Candy. Oh, yeah. I wanted to know if you're at the new place. That must be the
no, this is my last one. I'm in the love room with no love posters.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, because I was like, what? No love.
Okay. No love posters in the love room.
Okay, so she ended up like she was sitting there telling me that she was basically horrified of what I did that day with that woman.
Okay, good.
I'm very, very upset at what, because she said I should have known better
Mm-hmm. Yes, great.
than to lose it. Right.
Yeah.
So then, and so I sat there, and I think we talked about this maybe, that I defended. So
Mhm.
the very next time we went over to help her plant some plants, and she was telling me, there was one plant that was just about dead. She hadn't watered it in days. So I wanted to water it while Peter was digging and doing. And she says, "Don't water that yet." And inside, I felt just like I was 5 again, my mother not letting me do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So seething. I was so pissed off. It's inside. I was like, oh my God. And then I started realizing, that's when it dawned on me that she is my mother. And I'm going on a trip for 6 days with her. How the hell am I going to do
I
it?
remember.
I knew that each person that you get together with is for healing.
Mm-hmm.
So there was major healing. So much so that yesterday on our way home, my mother ended up calling, a face video calling, and I got her to meet Pat. Pat was driving, and my mother said, oh, something like, "You're the lady that she's spending time with, because she's not spending time with me anymore." Something that's paraphrased. That's not, yeah.
Oh,
And
fun.
exactly. And there was no contraction in the belly,
Okay.
no guilt, none. That was huge,
Nice.
huge for me.
Big change in
And
perception, yeah?
yeah, and the whole time I was there, I could see that not just me, but Pat too, brought our light everywhere we went.
Mm.
Everywhere, Hope. They went from, well, the coronavirus is a big one for a lot of them, but each person we went to visit they didn't want us to leave. None of them wanted us to leave. It flowed like magic. It felt like I was living a magical dream.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the dream becomes a beautiful dream.
The joy, the laughter, the
Uh-huh.
fun,
Yes.
people giving me stuff. They told me that it had been set up that this guy JV, who owns this building that all these people know, is an asshole. And I'm
Oh,
like, really? I mean, it came from 6 different people said, "Oh, you wait till you meet him." I said, "I'm dying to meet him." I said, I don't I don't think anybody's an asshole."
ah,
And so when I got there, this man, I did feel a little thing that I took personally. I asked him something, and he snapped back. I felt it, literally got the feeling. And then when, in the end, when I came back to talking with him, he ended up keeping us talking. He was like on stage for 2 hours telling stories, making us laugh. He was in his element.
yeah.
It was, I said, "You guys, you didn't tell me the right thing about this guy." "Yes, we did. That he was just on a good day." They did not like it that I didn't see, quote unquote, the real JV.
Right, because it's an energy play.
Oh my God.
You see how your reaction is like nectar.
It is. I mean, so much so Pat told me some things about him. She called him a teddy bear. And so when I said something about him being a teddy bear, Pat kicked me. She kicked me. She didn't want me to say it. She thought he was gonna be so pissed off, and he wasn't. He was a teddy bear. He was not what everyone had told me he is.
Everyone wants to be loving, and here's the thing, you know, people add up these concepts within their mind. You can say within their you can say it's within the witness that's interpreting things. Yes. And these energy plays are going on, and this particular guy has a history of a lot of different energy plays like that. So his first you could say contribution to the energy play is something that's kind of like an insult or something to that effect that feels triggering. And all it takes is someone who's willing to feel their trigger, just get the feeling of their trigger and look right past that, because everyone wants to play. Everyone wants heaven in their heart. Everyone wants heaven. And it's like you bring a little bit of heaven with you when you're just able to have a reaction and let it be okay. It gives you everything that you need. Yep. And look at all the fun that came out of it.
Oh my, Hope. I barely have a voice left.
Because you were laughing.
Talking, of course. And I mean, people giving me stuff that I can't even. There's just so much that happened. I haven't defragged it yet.
Yeah, just rest in it. Let it unravel. There's nothing for you to do. You know, you just rest in it. Let all that, you know, you get to be so certain that you're not vulnerable to anything in the world.
Yeah.
You get to be so certain. You get to go out with this great confidence anywhere you go, because you can take anything. You don't have to be afraid of running into certain people because they're going to pull you off center or anything like that.
And he was a big test.
Yeah.
Big, from what everybody was saying. And then it felt it at first. Mm-hmm. Like he just snapped back at me. Well, of course, whatever. But then at the end, when we were, I can't even. It's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You can see how the craving for the light. I mean, one of the ladies, we were there for like 4 hours visiting, because we were visiting all of Pat's that's where she was born and raised. And she said, and this one lady, she goes, "You're leaving already?" After 4 hours of pure, beautiful, flowing conversation. She's like, "I don't want you to leave," she said.
That's so sweet.
Yeah,
That's so sweet.
It was. And then the couple that we stayed with for the 6 days, there was major tension in there, so much so that his eye had a sty in it. Mm-hmm. And I got the back story, how it unfolded between me talking with his wife and him. Oh my God, his name is Tommy and her name is Lee.
Cute.
Tommy Lee from is it Motley Crue? Motley Crue, Tommy Lee. Oh my God, it was so funny. And they had a lot of fighting going on. You know, they're stuck in the house, and they had these big dreams, and they weren't happening. And so whatever I said, it was, Hope, the dog was angry. The dog they adopted 2 years ago, and it was an angry, I mean, it would growl, and especially in the evening, I guess it would get angry, it would growl, and it actually bit them in the evening if they had to be careful for. So I was afraid of it at first, but within 2 days of me being there, that dog would jump on any of us in the evening, pat it. There was no more growling, no biting, no nothing.
Shift in the energy.
Complete shift in the energy. That was my, even though you say don't trust the evidence, well, that one, I trust that evidence. That dog was a completely different dog when I left.
Well, here's the thing. Here's why I say don't trust the evidence, the illusion, because it's changeful. Like this too shall pass.
Right.
So,
Oh,
so that's why, because when you start to trust the evidence in the illusion, then you're going to trust other evidence in the illusion. So, yeah, you start to trust evidence in the illusion, you'll trust other evidence in the illusion. The evidence that you can trust is that God's love will uplift you, and you'll see that. You know, God's love will uplift your spirit, because God is love, and so are you. And everything in this illusion is meant to show you what you're not. So it's like, you know, take the blessings. That's great. Oh, great. There was a shift in the energy. That's only way anything changes. It's a shift in the energy, you know, and it's like, thank you. I'm grateful. It's awesome. Thanks for having a nice dog instead of a bitey dog, you know. It's just don't get attached to seeing miracles manifest in a particular way. See?
right.
Because the miracle is always a change in your perception, which affects the illusion too. But don't try to make miracles in your way. So that means if you have that experience, and then maybe you go back to the house and now the dog is bitey again, and the dog's even worse than before, what are you going to do with your reaction comes into play, not what are you going to make of this illusion. It's meaningless. There's no need to make anything of it.
Ah, thank you.
Yes, thank
you.
you.
Anyway.
But yeah, always when it's peace and harmony, it's called for celebration.
Oh my God.
It's like, yay.
Yeah, major yay.
So you see how, and you know, when you have a person who is basically representing an abuser for you, you see how we use these people, we use perception of people to make them into our abuser. They're bossing me around, for instance. They're being bossy.
Right. Yeah.
You know, when you're willing to see that the bossiness is really coming from your own mind, you can play with it.
Yes.
You can be in a situation where you're spending all this time with this bossy ass person and it just doesn't matter.
Well, by the end, on our way home today was the last leg of the trip. You know, we traded off driving and things. And whenever I had to go do something for her, because she's used to having an assistant. And that's what I asked her today. Did you have an assistant before? Because she's always saying, would you do this, dear? Would you do this, dear? Did you do this, dear? And I was on it. I already knew. I put the credit card away. I had her phone. I did her. Everything just unfolded. I knew exactly. I was ahead of her. And she goes, I said, I'm a damn good girl Friday, aren't I? She goes, yes, you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you don't, and you know, let's say if the witness doesn't want to be that, let's say,
Right.
It's not personal. It's
Nope.
not personal, not wanting to be that. The speaking of it, the communication of it comes out very easily and naturally.
Yes, right.
It's
But I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Totally
And a lot of the times you find out that you're fine with it. You just want to use that person as an abuser for a little bit.
Yep, exactly. Until I saw through it. And then it was no big deal. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
It's
you just
freedom.
don't try to do anything while you're making the person into the abuser. You don't make any choices. You know, you don't come to any conclusions while you're making the person into an abuser, because all you're really choosing is the ego's thought system.
Right.
You know,
right.
Once the person isn't an abuser, once they're not an abuser anymore, they've been set free from that role that you gave them, then you can communicate whatever it is.
Right. And in a joyful manner.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. When the person isn't
involved,
a problem,
right.
They're not a problem in your mind.
Right.
It's easy. It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. And it's like this too. Sometimes a person might also feel offended because of what was spoken out of your mouth. Great. That is an opportunity to allow more compassion within yourself.
Yes, yes.
Isn't that perfect?
It
It's not
is.
like you can hurt anyone. It's not like you can harm anyone.
Right, right.
You still, like I always talk about is watching their reactions. You're watching their reactions so you could see where you can allow more compassion, but you're not watching your reactions to make a judgment about yourself.
No,
That's
no,
not what it's for.
no.
It's just to see where you can allow more compassion. And anytime anyone gives you an opportunity to allow more compassion, it's like gratitude, gratitude, gratitude.
Mm.
See? And
Yes,
that's how the learning happens because you're not holding them out there. As soon as you hold them out there, you're holding yourself apart from God. And that makes you feel really upset. And this includes, okay, I was sent a conspiracy video today, so I saw a couple things. Child trafficking, fake news, forced immunizations, any of that kind of stuff. This includes those things. See, nothing is happening.
right.
It's projected from your mind. And the fact that the world is meaningless comes into play big time here.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends who have started to see through and we're feeling really good before seeing a whole bunch of conspiracy things. And then, oh my goodness, but it's not the watching of them. They could be watched. It could be completely entertaining. That's how I watch them.
That's exactly what's happening with me now because I see that when I watch something and it fuels the see I'm right, I'm going to post this. I see that is all the egos. I see I'm right. And the other person on the other side saying, see I'm right with theirs, which is the opposite when neither one of them are happening.
Yes, exactly. And your opinion and your interpretation of that video, even your interpretation of that video is only based on conditioning.
Right.
It's not right or wrong.
Nope.
Some people interpret the video and say, hey, you haven't even shown any facts. It seems like you're just making stuff up.
Mm.
Either way, it's the same because nothing's happening. It's not something to argue about. It's just showing, all that's showing is that for every opinion, for every judgment, the opposite is just as true.
Exactly.
It's true to the person who holds that. It's true to the person who holds that judgment.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And you can feel it in the body when you can feel it, the emotion arising as you listen to it. You can hear it, feel it going, oh my God, I'm gonna post this so they'll get it my way.
Yeah, that's big. And I'll tell you along the line of that thought, since I've been not posting my writings on Facebook, it's really interesting because I get so many spiritual insights all day long anyways. And for 11 years I was writing a lot of them down on Facebook. I was pretty prolific. Sometimes it was like 3 a day and stuff. And then I'll get these spiritual insights and it'll be like, oh my gosh, they have to know about it. I need to put it on Facebook. And it's just like such a revealing and beautiful practice. I don't know how long it'll go on. I can't say. I don't know if I'll be back on Facebook. But just that feeling of, oh, I have to, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. Let's just let that be absorbed in whatever way it is and forget about it. Don't even need to write it down. It's really, it feels really almost like almost like the drapes have been open, like the sun has come in. It's like there's always been, and I've been saying there's no one to teach, no one to teach, no one to teach.
Right.
And yet I find myself posting on Facebook when, that's driven by someone to teach,
Right.
because the writing and the posting and all that kind of stuff, it's like not something that's like that freaking fun to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's the excitement of getting that out and stuff like that. There's that, but it's really not that fun to me. I mean, it's more fun, way more fun, wisdom dialogues. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, who said you have to keep up posting on Facebook? It's like, oh, who says you have to keep on writing? Who
Yeah.
says you have to keep on, And it's just like, whoa,
Ooh.
yay. That just occurred to me one day, and it was like, oh, like I just hadn't even really thought about that.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the best thing is all of the inside as the healing is happening. My God, the insights, the opening.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And you just know you're clear that you're clear that you are God's child. You are an extension of creation, and you're totally safe, and you're totally taken care of, and you don't need anything. There's nothing to be defensive about.
No,
There's nothing anyone can do to harm you.
don't even need food or money.
Don't need anyone to be nice to you.
Don't need anyone to be nice to me. You don't need anyone to be um oh my God. It's overwhelming. I am so well, I'm exhausted as you can tell. I basically went to bed at 7 just so I could get a little bit of a nap in before I because I had my alarm set so I could be on with you tonight. Because I probably would have slept right through if I. There's so much clarity happening.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, it's like it passes and it changes, and it's clarity, confusion, clarity, confusion. And when the confusion arises, if you're happy about it, if you're glad about the confusion, you're bringing about the clarity much faster.
Faster, right.
Yeah. So it's like this too shall pass. And
Right.
that's why Jesus said that.
Yeah.
Don't get attached to
The good.
whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, because if you're not attached to it, when the confusion comes, it'll be so easy for you.
Yeah.
Because when you're hooray about the confusion, I've been sharing for years, hooray about everything.
Right. Right.
Even the confusion, even the pain, always. And that's the one that's before the one who's interpreting it is an upset feeling. The one who's interpreting something as a problem. It goes the same with money and stuff like that. Interpreting lack of money as a problem is basically making yourself guilty. It's telling your own mind that you depend on that for your support.
Right.
And that's going to be your experience. Now you have to go after this thing that's completely freaking meaningless to support your life, when your life is not really supported like that, not even in the illusory world. However, it's been made to seem like that. And I know it seems like that. But that's because of the way we've made it seem. Right. So all those seeming things, the solutions can all come. Everything can take care of themselves. All there is for you is to allow yourself to see clearly. If you're not feeling good, if you're not feeling joyful, you are not seeing clearly. And just don't believe that you're not believing that you're seeing clearly.
Right.
You have a choice that's beyond what's made, what's interpreted in the world. You have a choice that's beyond that to say, I deny any meaning to that. I deny that thought has any meaning. Look how it feels. Obviously.
Doesn't have any meaning for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it has no meaning for who you are, because you're not really capable of having that kind of experience. In fact, you're not experiencing it. You're viewing it like on a screen. It's more like you're viewing it. The real experience is creation. And the real experience is, it's almost like it's blocked by this thing that's we're viewing. This view of a world.
That's not even real.
That's right. It's totally not real, and it's totally for seeing through it. It's because it represents the thought of separation, and the thought of separation needs forgiveness. That's all. It just needs some forgiveness.
Yeah.
And then it's gone. It's done. So Yulia says, "Oh, aloha, Cynthia. Thank you, Orba. I appreciate you. Thank
Bye,
you
Cynthia.
for the
Hey, Julia.
And okay, even though I love your insights on Instagram, I do need them apparently. Well, my insights on Instagram are posted by a friend of mine. So I'm not posting there either, but I have a friend posting there. And yeah, I suppose if anyone wanted to post to my Facebook, they can. It's just that I'm not going to be the one writing it. You can take quotes from me and post it if you want. It's Anastasia, yeah. Oh no, it's not Anastasia, but Anastasia is posting now. She's been making little clips of my videos. I don't know if she's going to continue to do that, but she's done that 3 times. Oh, and Orba has a great song. She saw the song at the end of Wisdom Dialogues last week, and she cut it. And
I saw it today.
And it's there at the top.
I
and
watched
it rocks.
Yeah, it does.
It's a beautiful song. Thank you, Orban. Thank you, Anastasia, for making those cuts. She also made a couple short highlights. One's just a few minutes long, one's maybe like 15 minutes. And then there's that talk from Sunday, too. The Mother's Day talk that's all right there at the top of my Facebook. No, not Facebook. YouTube. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Isn't it Gail? Is it Gail or Goda that does your Instagram?
Her name is Sequoia. She goes by Goda on Facebook.
Oh, Goda. Her name, what? There's so many names for her. Sequoia.
Yeah, she changes her name often.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it keeps you on your toes. It's fun.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's really fun. Oh, thank you.
I love you.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just keep you on here and just like have your mic muted, and then you can come back if you want to chime in. Yay.
Okay.
So I was mentioning about money and that scarcity consciousness thing. That is a very guilty concept that we've made for ourselves. It's kind of like an agreement that we made together. That's why the whole world seems to be in on it. Kind of like an agreement to use this device to make ourselves seem like we're guilty. Notice all the guilt that goes along with the exchange of money. If you ruin something of mine, now you owe me money. If you spend too much, then you might not have enough money. You might not have enough money to get by. See how it's showing that the illusion of choice is true. These ways of relating with each other is trying to prove and is proving for all, intents and purposes to the confused mind that this is real. I really need to get more financially responsible in the world. I need to get a financial life, let's say. And, you don't have any say in that. You don't even have a say in whether you go toward getting a financial life. It's just for watching. It doesn't matter. But in watching it, watch your reactions, watch how you're reacting to it. I had the sense this past week, like, oh my goodness, it's totally like, it's never going to be okay with the money, or, it might be bankruptcy or something like that. And it's like, it's like, let myself get that feeling for a minute, but being behind it and just letting it be resolved in me. There's a habit, basically a human habit, to see gloom and doom. And it's like, one day it occurred to me, who is aware of this? Who is making this interpretation right now? See, it's like, I know I'm not capable of making an interpretation like this. Who is making this interpretation? And then just allowing myself to get the feeling like that there's this upset, that interpretation gets resolved. You get a new interpretation. Not that everything's going to be all right and the money's going to flow and everything like that. It's just that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the funny thing is, this idea that there's a problem like the sky is falling has always been an idea that's permeated my consciousness since I was probably like 20 years old. It's always been an idea. It always seems like you're not quite there before you're stable in this financial world. You're always just not quite there. I mean, maybe some people have the perception of they're there. I can't say how grateful I am that I've always had the perception that I'm not quite there. And at one time I owned a business with my husband where we did like 2.2 million a year, and it still seemed like that. So, it doesn't seem to matter. It's always like you're not quite there. And if you get to be a multi-billionaire and you really feel secure in the financial arena, which I can't see as being possible at all, no matter what amount of money you have, it'll be something else to bring up that same kind of sky is falling. For a lot of people, the sky is falling right now because it seems like the government is about to like really put its claws into people and make sure that people are walking the line and doing exactly what the government says they're going to do. They're supposed to do. That's another sky is falling, kind of mindset. It's really a mindset that the sky is falling. So when the energy arises, when the energy comes to me, it's like, ooh, I know what that is. How fun. Because we're not only healing for ourselves in healing because there's only one of us. Healing is universal. Healing is shared. It's shared in the mind because there's only one of us. Everyone benefits from that. It's the greatest service that can be done. And that's why I get so excited. Oh, thank you. Ooh, a feeling of scarcity. Oh, ooh, how fun. And then it's just allowed to have its way with me. Let's say it's almost like love making, you can say. There's this feeling of scarcity, and it seems like such a bad feeling, but it becomes like this juicy nectar that opens me up for healing. It opens my mind for healing. And I get the effect of that opening as an illusion, and the illusion is an uplifted feeling. And love also has, healing also has an effect in the illusion. Okay, healing also has an effect in the illusion. So that effect is an uplifted, certain kind of feeling. It's it's not like a confidence that the money will come. It's not like that, but it's confidence that the money that you need, exactly the money that you need, is going to come, that's necessary for your awakening, as it's necessary for awakening. I mean, would you trade? Okay, maybe you would. I think people are trading that right now, but I'm not one of them. because I know heaven is so, so beautiful, and I'm not going to try to drag my feet on getting there, on getting to see it, let's say. But, you know, I hear of people just getting caught up in these little things like, oh, I would rather have $1 million. I would rather have the experience of $1 million than heaven. You know, while I'm here on this earth, I want to get what I can out of it. And that's exactly the kind of attitude that's resisting heaven. Basically, making more time, extending out time, causing the world to spin even faster. These spinning stories, spinning stories, spinning stories, all leading to death. Money leads to death. Health leads to death. Relationships lead to death. See, status leads to death. It all leads to death. Who wants it? Who wants it? The ego wants it. The ego wants you to want it. That's why I always say you don't know what you want. If you think you want something in this world, you absolutely do not know what you want. Now look, it's kind of like this. I was at one of my favorite restaurants a couple days ago, and I was ordering a burger, and it seemed like what was wanted was a burger. Okay? So a burger gets ordered. Now, if a burger doesn't come and something else comes, is there a problem? What if I don't like it? What if it's beans? Can't stand beans. What if I don't like it? Is it a problem? Still not a problem. Because the thinking that I wanted a burger, the thinking that I wanted the burger manifested as ordering a burger. But really, what's meant to play out is for healing. So if I don't get a burger, that's fine. If I don't get a burger and I find myself going, hey, I didn't get a burger, I'd rather have a burger, that's fine. There's just no problem, because the whole time there's awareness of what energies are arising and what energies are playing out, and where we can ask for a miracle. Just in asking for that change of perception. And that's kind of like, you know, Lori gave a good example where she got triggered when a man said something to her. She got a trigger and she's like, oh, there it is. And she was warned about this man that he's triggering before she ever met him. So she's like, oh, there it is. She was kind of on the lookout for it. Oh, there's that. Okay, cool. And then you keep on going. And, you know, there's in that, there's kind of like a silent, sincere, asking for a reinterpretation, asking for a healed perception, see? Asking to see it clearly. And that's what's given. You don't like beans either. Fun. That one is hard to see. The money thing and how it's not real. Well, that's conditioning, and there's a deep fear in there about it being wrong to not have, to seem like you don't have enough money for something. Can it be a game? Can it just be a game? It is a game, but can it be a game in your mind? Can it be a fun game? You know, my sister called me and she said, I don't know what to do. I'm not getting any income. I can't pay the rent. I don't know what's going to happen. And, you know, I shared with her, hooray, hooray. You don't have to figure out what's going to happen. It comes down to this moment. It comes down to this feeling of scarcity. And, you know, whatever you feel, that becomes your special purpose. What do I mean by that? If you're being triggered, you're being given an opportunity to accept healing, okay? To make a miracle, you can say. Make a miracle. Offer up your limited interpretation. Allow some relief for yourself. And the solutions take care of themselves. They all take care of themselves. And when I say you don't know what you want, you know, it really applies there, because when it comes to money and you think you want money, right? You think you want money and you find yourself settling for some kind of, I don't know what, to make money. Maybe it's sucking a dick. Sometimes that's it. But, you know, whatever it is, Then you find yourself settling for something because you thought you wanted money. You didn't want money. You want freedom. You want freedom from the prison of your own mind. That's all. All that's ever wanted. So in recognizing that you don't really want money, that's the wanting money is part of the play. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just part of the play. But it's playful. It's like, oh, the wanting money is leading me on this thing. And it could turn out amazing for you. Say the wanting money gets you walking out the door, right? And maybe going somewhere looking for how you can get some money. That's a trajectory of the ego. That's thoughts coalescing and just taking care of themselves. But behind that, before that, where there's real willingness to recognize this is a game, you're playing, you're just playing games with thoughts. Then you can see where inspiration arises. And you just might find yourself doing something super, super fun that you didn't even think you might be doing. It's like letting all the possibilities flow in. Just let all the possibilities just occur to you because it's a fun game. No money, no problem. Money, no problem. Whatever. Some people find out too when they go down to like zero money and realize, oh, this isn't a problem. Why did I really make that into a problem? It'd be really funny is if all of a sudden there was no money. Of course there will be when, heaven dawns upon the mind. Another way of saying is the mind is restored to sanity, to its true reality. It'd be really funny and fun to see is all of a sudden the world has no money. Just no money. Everything will be just fine. Nothing bad is going to happen about it. Everything will be fine. It's not necessary to have money for this world of stories to spin. The stories are going to keep spinning. You're going to keep on getting whatever it is that you need. If the amount of money that you need is no money, you'll have that. If the amount of money that you need is more than no money, then you'll have that. But you're never going to get less or more than you need. And if you think that you'd rather trade $50 billion heaven, you just don't know. You just don't know. And it's not a problem. You can go play that out. It's not hurting anything, Because even if you're the worst guy in the world, say you're fill in the blank, whatever the worst guy in the world is to you. Say you're that guy or gal. And, whatever they did, as heinous as it may be, it's nothing. It's completely meaningless. It's totally nothing. No one did anything. It's dream. Even the thought of separation is a dream. Immediately on the thought of separation, it's a dream. The mind that's created in God's love says, I'm curious, what would it be like to be separate, and goes to sleep about it. Makes a dream about it. See that those kinds of thoughts really can't be thought in the mind of God. So it has to be a dream about it. Going into consciousness, that's a dream. But you were never capable of thinking against yourself. That's why it had to be made into a dream. And that's why this is a dream. And even it doesn't matter whatever it is that seemed like it was bad or whatever, a bad thing to do. You have people that do really things that would really be perceived as really bad. Fine. That's the interpretation of the false witness, the witness that witnesses to separation, because a person can only be bad in a dream. And no one's going to be mean to anyone if they're observing the love that they are. It's impossible. So, what I'm pointing to is to be observing, allowing, appreciating, accepting the love that you are. You don't have to be afraid of harming anyone. You don't have to be afraid of that. And if you get the perception that you did harm anyone, forgive that immediately, because it did not happen. It did not happen. And if forgiveness isn't happening immediately, forgive that too. If your mind is racing about it, oh my God, why did I say that to them? And why did I say it in that way? I could have been so much more kind. I could have been so much more loving. Let that burn itself out. Don't push it. Don't try to change it. Just let that go. Get the feeling of it. You kind of like get the taste of it. And this is where it kind of shifts from a problem to more like love making. I mean, the illusion that you get is that these feelings are like, I don't even know how to describe it. The feelings are so rich. That's one word I can use. They're rich, and they and it's almost like they inspire an ecstasy, inspire a feeling of ecstasy. So it's like, yay, that upset feeling is here. That's great, because that means I don't know what I'm worthy of right now. And when I see what I'm worthy of, I'm freaking stoked. How can I not want this? How is it, for me, it's kind of like, how is it that I ever didn't want this? Like I was afraid of it. How is it that I ever felt like I didn't want to, let's say, feel depressed for months on end? How is it that I thought I didn't want that? Because it's every feeling, no matter what it is, they're so rich. So rewarding. Bringing on so much wisdom. Opening you. It's like it's opening you. Say it's kind of like almost like the feeling is opening the energy field. It's sort of like a juicy kind of flow kind of energy, where the love of God, the thought system of God, can just flow in easily. No blocks. It removes the blocks. That's what I see. It's what I saw with the holy fire, is that these energies that seem to be bad for you, like they're an upset feeling, they're burning away the blocks. And when you burn away the blocks, what's left is this open, just a sweet openness to the love of the Creator. In A Course in Miracles, it says it's not up to you to find love. I think that's what it says. That's what is occurring to me now. But to remove the blocks against it. See, the blocks against it are all kinds of judgments and stuff like that. Like I said, the first manifestation is in the body. So when you're getting an upset feeling, like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to pay the rent feeling, that's a scarcity feeling. It's like there's not enough, which translates to I'm not enough. That's what it translates to. So to see through I'm not enough is just to get that feeling, instead of making it as if there's really not enough money, because that is totally make believe. Even if you think you can't pay the rent, even if you get the perception that that the rent isn't getting paid, it's a game. Let the game be played. Let the game be played by the player of the game. And you allow miracles to occur through the viewing of the game being played. There's nothing else. There's nothing else for you to do. There's certainly nothing to figure out. I love that feeling, especially being a business owner. I have employees. Shit goes down every day. Things seem to occur. And as soon as there's a pressure on me, things might be hairball one day. Like it seems like there's big things going on. As soon as there seems like there's pressure on me, it's like a red flag goes on. It's like, ooh, how fun. Look here. Here's where compassion is allowed. As soon as it seems like, oh my gosh, that's really a problem. That's real, like, in any kind of business, there's a sense of losses. Like, oh no, not a loss. That thing that we sent didn't make it to him. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, not a loss. And it's just so much fun to see that. It doesn't really matter what occurs with the business. The main thing is that people get some kick-ass essential oils while they're doing business with us. And we share the love with everyone. It says our essential oils are infused with love, and they are, because we don't project as if they're supposed to be doing anything for us. It's just the joy of sharing. It's in the joy of sharing this thing. And all the solutions can take care of themselves, and we'll see how it works out. We'll see how all of the transpirings go. And we've been in business for 9 years. There's plenty of opportunities that come up in that. I mean, there was one where an employee lost the computer, apparently. I told her, it's the same you losing it as me losing it. We're both having the perception. It's not really like that. So any of these things, whatever you find yourself in, maybe you're a landlord or a tenant and you have these different relationships with people. These are all opportunities to demonstrate to your own mind that none of this stuff matters and that only love is real. Only the law of love is real, not the law of profit and loss, not the law of how you should behave in a relationship, how other people should behave to you, or how you should behave to them. Another one is the law of nutrition, the law of exercise, the laws of your body. Totally not true. I saw one today. It was really fun. One of my friends posted something on Facebook, and it had a one line. You guys saw it. There's one line where you can go up to this booth and you can either take masks and quarantine and injections. The other line, you can take healthy food, exercise, rest. And my friend, the way she put it is, I'll take line number 2. And it's like, I want to present a different view. That's totally awesome. I mean, whatever line you want to be in, it's the same. It's totally awesome. It doesn't matter. But take a little bit of a different view is take no line. Take no line, because these are all worldly laws. These are all based on worldly laws. The nutrition and rest, and what was the other one? I forgot. They're all based on worldly laws, or the injections on the other side. So it's really just the same thing. It's really just saying, well, my way's better than yours, and it's actually just the same. It makes no difference at all. It does look like, from a lot of points of view, like the one with the injections is some kind of control mechanism. And also the opposite of that, that it's for health and wellness and all that, is also a view that's held by people that makes both of those judgments cancel each other out. They're equally true. So it really doesn't matter which one of those lines, but if you look at it from, I'll take no line, and just see where the guidance brings me in the moment. I'll surrender all my conditioning to the spirit and see where my guidance leads me in the moment. You know, you might notice that you find yourself drawn to one or the other, and let that be meaningless. It's not like you have to defend the decision your false witness made. You don't have to defend that decision. It's based on conditioning. And it's only shown to you so that you can see where you're making things in the world true, where you're making the illusion that you separated from your reality real, so you can allow more compassion there, because it hurts. It hurts to feel separate. It does. It's like everyone who thinks that their way is the right way, they want other people on board with them because it hurts to feel separate. And there's no need for anyone else to share that opinion. An opinion can't even be shared. Really, the only thing that can be shared is love. And you can have a totally different opinion on things and have a great time together, because no one really has an opinion. When there's recognizing like that no one really has an opinion, then you get out of that whole thing. Oh, I hate you for your opinion. Someone says to you, I hate you for your opinion. I don't resonate with that. You said that guy was in, here's one that I got. You said that guy was innocent on a public forum. You said he was innocent on a public forum, and he's responsible for all this sexual predator stuff. You know, and it's like, oh, okay, thank you for letting me know. That's okay too. That's okay with me too. And you're also innocent, so thank you. See, if there's a reaction to you, that's an opportunity to allow more compassion. It's more compassion in your own body's energy field. It's not a problem, and it doesn't mean there's something you have to change about yourself. Look, you can't get it wrong, so how can you change something about yourself? It doesn't mean there's something you have to change about yourself to get across to people differently. No, when you see a reaction where someone's reacting upset to you, it's an opportunity to get more clear, to allow that juiciness through, so it could be extended, so it could be shared and spilled out into the world of form, where it has real effects in the world. I say they're real effects because they even transcend the world. In the world, they have effects. In the illusory world, they make illusory effects. But even beyond that, whatever is truly shared, and all that can be truly shared is love, which is true communication. Whatever is truly shared is also going toward creation. The creation is ongoing, and you have never stopped creating, even if you don't know you're creating. You're creating in eternity. And it's going to be such a surprise, because when everybody sees that, wow, it's like a pleasant surprise. And then like, oh, of course, I was dreaming. It was always like this. So the creating is always happening. So it goes back to, where can I accept more compassion? That's all. You can't be accepting compassion if you're entertaining an ego thought about how you screwed up. Cannot be. If you're entertaining that ego thought about how you screwed up, you're resisting compassion because you're saying you don't believe it. Now, you can let that ego thought about how you screwed up be entertaining to you. That's completely different. See the difference? It's like, oh, let's analyze how you did that. And you can laugh. Oh, really? And then if the analyzing goes on, it's like, oh, really? Is that so? But if you're entertaining that thought, as in becoming concerned and really wanting to figure out, what kind of person are you? What kind of person am I? Am I a good person? That's a question for the ego, isn't it? That makes you into that which is perceiving. You're not that which is perceiving. You're not that interpreter of energy. You're viewing this interpreter of energy, and it's completely meaningless and never touches you. You can pretend that you're touched by it. You can go, oh, that means something about me. I better look into that. That means something about my character. What is it called? The social, not social perception, but social something. It's like, it means like the way people, the way the society or the public in general perceives you, or the way, even the way any person perceives you. It's completely not personal. It's projected from your mind. It's projected from your mind to show where there could be more compassion. So, oh, am I risking a public, whatever, social, their social image? I'm gonna put reputation. Yeah, that's one way of saying it. Let's say social reputation, social image, anything like that. You get the fear that your social image is going to be affected. I had one friend who went to ecstatic dance here, and someone decided that he shouldn't be there. So then he was kicked out of ecstatic dance, and I'm like, hooray! That's freaking awesome! What a gift! What a gift! Because now it seems like you have some kind of bad a bad vibe. You could be like this bad guy. Oh, why is he getting kicked out? Why is he not at the dance? You know, and it's funny because it's kind of like a thing that goes on around here. I've had people share with me that many times. Yeah, I got kicked out of the dance or banned from it or something like that. And it's like, oh, that's freaking awesome. It brings up this perception that you're ruined, like you're not a good character. You're no good. That's great. That's really great because that perception is coming from the mind and it's a gift to you. It's a gift. It's like, oh, thank you. Hope, I'm kicking you out of the dance because you flashed the bead one too many times. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being true to yourself. No beeves on the dance floor. They love you. They love you. Whatever it is, you know. Someone tells you, hey, you know, we don't like your energy around here. We just think that you're too loud or too brown or whatever, you know. It's like, oh, okay, no problem. You know, even someone who is having like a racist issue. Here's something that I saw before. When I was a young girl, I was hanging out with this black woman, and she came from Santa Barbara, where it was basically all white, Santa Barbara, California. So she grew up with all the white folk, as she called us. And we're hanging out at a bar, and it was obvious that there was a man at the bar that did not want her there. It was just obvious. There was a vibe or something said. I don't know. It was a really long time ago. But the way that she just overlooked the bias and just overlooked the racism, the man just warmed right up. And that's how it is for everything. That's how it really is for everything. We think we have to fight things. We think we have to fight people who have their certain opinion about us or whatever. There's no fight in it. It's just like, oh, okay. And since we were in the same general area the whole time, and there was just like a sweetness, there was a sweet vibe for him. It was almost like, you know, she just kind of got attuned to if someone's racist toward her, they need love. They don't need her to act like she's offended by them being a racist. They just need love. And the ego will say, oh no, don't do that. You'll just get killed by them. You know what? Who cares? who cares? Everything's headed for a death anyways. So if death is going to occur, why not let it occur while you're loving? I've never seen any problem with that. I've never seen any problem with that in all kinds of situations, because because love dispels violence. It doesn't inspire it. It dispels violence. See, fear incites violence. It's a total vibe. It's a total vibe that goes on between people. You know, someone seems like they're judgmental toward you, and you're just and you're just willing to just overlook that, and it's more like, what is this person showing me? But anything that feels upsetting or anything that I get a reaction for has to be a call for love. So what is this person showing me? What am I being shown through them? Each and every one of them is a beloved child of God. And in your mind, the way you perceive them, they're a child of your mind. They're a child of your confused, dreaming mind. The way you perceive them, you don't perceive them as they are. Whatever they're sharing with you is a gift. They're bringing something really awesome to the table in every moment. So your reaction to them, your upset reaction to them, doesn't mean that they're wrong or you're wrong. It's neither. No one's wrong about it. It's just an opportunity. And I'm so grateful that I'm here to experience that there's an opportunity here. And I'm not going to sleep in it and feeling judged. Oh God, they judged me. It's like, who cares? Let people have whatever they want. Whatever they want. That's exactly what happened with the man everyone told me was such an ass. It was not my perception at all. Yes, you looked right past that. You saw that it was coming from you. You got the reaction. It was beautiful. They told me he was obviously having a great day, and they wanted me to know that he's usually not like that. They didn't want to be wrong. Good, that's perfect. They're not, they're right. They gave in maybe in the worldly sense, like they're wrong in the way that they're making the ego valid. They're making illusions true. Okay, that's wrong. They're talking nonsense. They're wrong. But what they're saying to you and what they're presenting to you, the healing opportunities that they're causing to arise for you, they are so right. And you want them to feel right. Whether or not it comes out that, hey, you know what? And that's hurting you. That's hurting you thinking that he's like that. Whether or not that comes out in words, that's communicated with them. That's communicated with them automatically, and their spirit will be responsible for opening them up to it in exactly the way they need to be open to it. It's not up to you to give them a teaching, but a teaching may emerge from you. It will emerge from you quite pleasantly if you don't think you're the one who has to give a teaching, or you have to figure out how to teach them this when they seem so blocked off and so lost in the illusion. You yourself take them as a gift, find gratitude for it, and get the healing through it, and you're guaranteed to have allowed them to receive a healing as well. Whether or not you see that right now, it's like you gave them a gift. And, in time, through the illusion of time, which that's all it's for, their spirit is going to use that to show them. They use that love that you gave to show them. So really, when someone's coming to me, in fact, just the other day, I had a man walk toward me, and he looked like he was so into something, whatever it was he was thinking. And I could hear him, he had been like raising his voice and stuff like that. And he came up and he just started kind of like yelling in my face, not at me, but about Trump and about what Trump, all the bad things that Trump is doing wrong. So I walked a little bit forward, a little bit closer to him, and I found myself just saying something to that would inspire him to talk more. And I just listen with my whole body and allow and watch and you know, then I look down at my, I happen to look down at my hands, and I notice that the way I'm holding my stuff is kind of like not that comfortable way to be holding my stuff. I had some stuff in my arms, and just kind of like this readjustment happened to the way I'm holding the stuff in my arms. Not that it's a choice of mine, it's just that there's an awareness of everything, and then that changes. And in that, the whole thing lightened up. I noticed that there's just like a blockage of energy. You know, I saw him coming to me, and it's kind of like, oh no, and it's like, oh yes, at the same time. And so in noticing how there's like kind of like an energy, almost like a blocking, and what he's doing by coming up and yelling in my face like that is giving me the perfect opportunity to shine awareness on all the blockages in my body. And it was interesting because it's like I sense the blockages, and then I notice that I'm holding my stuff funny, like I could be holding it nice, like in a way that's more comfortable, and it just like readjusts, and the energy field readjusts. And then he gets done saying what he says, and we smile at each other, and we go our way. And it's just not it's just not a problem. You know, it's not like anyone can do anything in my energy field. So I welcome all the energy that's arising. It's not like trying to push it away, like, hey, don't act like that to me. Don't talk about President Trump like he's really capable of doing anything to anyone, because he's in your mind. You know, there's no need to say it. The person is embroiled in that thing. Okay, the gift is for me. The gift is for me. And in me receiving the gift, he's going to receive it. He can't even help it. He can't block it. Nothing. He's just going to receive it. If I allow a teaching in my mind, and our mind is shared, that's all there is. And the interaction is met with gratitude, no matter how seemingly intense it is. There's like spit coming out and stuff. It's great. I think some of it even got on me. Good thing I'm not conditioned to believe in COVID. Otherwise, that could be really hard to have a guy coming up and no mask and during COVID. I didn't even think about that till just now. Yeah, it's really amazing, Lori, how it's unfolding. And you know, I hear people saying, trust the process. Trust the process. That's perfect. Trust the process. It's a process playing out. There's a process going on, but you don't have to keep it processing, because you're the one who makes all the decisions. You're the one who makes all the decisions, all the real decisions, the decisions that are made on the surface, like what will I do? What will I wear? Will I work out? Will I eat this? Will I buy this? All that kind of stuff. Those are no decisions. Decisions between illusions are no decisions. There's no decisions being made. Totally meaningless decisions, and it doesn't matter which one it is. It doesn't matter what's chosen. But you're the one who makes the real decisions. You're the one who decides whether you're going to pretend like you're affected by the perception that's occurring to you on the screen of consciousness, or it's just going to be entertaining and healing, and you're going to see lots of miracles. Demand miracles. You have the right to. You have the right to. The only thing that's preventing any miracle from happening is thinking that you're unworthy. Every single moment is ripe for miracles. Every single moment you're given an opportunity to allow your perception to be changed, to be the perception that's set forth in the thought system that aligns with love. No matter what it is that seems to be witnessed by the false witness that's interpreting things in the world. The world is meaningless. That's the title of this one. The world is meaningless. And it doesn't apply any less now than it has all this time that I've been saying the world is meaningless. And sometimes people get pissed at me about that. But you know, some people are starting to come around. Some people are starting to come around. Oh, I see what you mean. There's nothing here. It's not going anywhere. It's just spinning. It's really scary. It's really scary for the ego. When you see more and more, you may find yourself, like I do from time to time, at a point where it feels really scary, just the fact that nothing is happening here. It feels really scary, you know. And I know that's an ego fear, and I'm not really capable of feeling that fear. I'm not really capable of being fearful like that, you know. I can view what's feeling the fear. I can view what's feeling the fear, and I'm glad about it. But, you know, that's why there's so much defensiveness to hearing this, because there's a major ego fear, and I've gone into it a little bit. Maybe I've just touched the surface. I don't know. But I'm happy about it. I'm happy to view the fear. I'm happy to view the ego's fear, and to view that in recognition that that fear is meaningless and not touching anyone, because that fear is what's preventing everyone, and everyone's awakening in my mind. Everyone is awakening in my own mind, and the fear that ego fear is what's preventing people from seeing their worthiness. And I'm more than happy to see all I need to see, to view all I need to view of this ego fear of this all being meaningless. And I'm happy to keep on going down that path of it all being meaningless and go through all of that fear, because it's so rewarding. What I notice is the more I see through the ego's fear, the more I approach it. Let's say it's being approached by my awareness. It's like my awareness is touching it and not recoiling from it. The more that occurs, the less likely I am to buy into anything. The more that fear is being seen through, that's all that's holding this up. That's all that's holding this illusory world as if it's a real world, is fear of losing it, fear of finding out it's meaningless. As soon as you find out for sure, you know for sure that it's meaningless, there's no job for the ego. The ego's done. So then all it is a happy dream until it's dreaming no more. Like Lori said this weekend, she really had a taste of the happy dream. It seemed like last week on Wisdom Dialogues, even, it's like, oh man, I just committed to spend 6 days with this woman. Shit, I can't stand her. I just see my mother. She's abusive. She says really mean things. And the next thing you know, you're having a kick-ass time with them. That's a happy dream. And that's how it goes. So hooray, everyone. Now I have like 3 minutes left. I could go over a little bit if need be. I don't have anything directly after this. If anyone has any questions, please raise your hand. Anyone would like clarification, please raise your hand. And I thought, oh, Lori said something. And I thought about the COVID thing too, as you told about the spit. Man, miracles. Yes. Yes. Right now, if I'm feeling any kind of upset, if I've, it's like, oh, here's an opportunity for a miracle. It's like, you can command that right now. And I'm sure Jesus spoke to that too. I don't have all the Bible verses memorized on the tip of my tongue, but they speak to me in an energetic way. And you could probably find it if you looked for it, if you wanted to. Yay. So Tuesdays, 3 p.m., that's where I be, online Wisdom Dialogues. I'll be in a new house next time, which I don't think it's going to make a big difference. We'll see what occurs there. Also, I go in person every week. We've been having it way back in the jungle, Leia's place. And yeah, if you want to know about that, let me know you want to know about it, and we'll hook up the deets for you. Yay, thank you. I'm stoked about the new house too. It's fun. So also I talked a little bit about our essential oil business, Miracle Botanicals. We source the best stuff in the world. I mean, that's basically what we do. People get our stuff and they're like, whoa, you got the best stuff. And like, yes, that's like our business model. We get the best stuff in the world, ship it all over the world. And we have the sweetest peeps that come and bottle those oils for you and get them shipped out. No one's tripping on the COVID thing. Everyone's good. No one's putting their there are boogers in there or anything. No one even has any boogers. All infused with love. It's called miraclebotanicals.com. You can email me if you want to send me an email, hopejohnson@me.com. Also, you can go to my website and find out about all the stuff I have going on. You can also leave donations there. I really appreciate donations. I do pay for certain things to make sure that there's podcasts up on all the different podcast stations, and also pay for this right here, Zoom. So anything that you give is super helpful. And yeah, really appreciate that. It really warms my heart. I mean, even, you know, someone sends me like $5. It's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's like, just, you know, I just feel where that comes from, and I appreciate it. Want to know of it Tuesday. Want to know of it Tuesday. You want to know of Monday? Okay, so if you want to know about Monday, email me, hopejohnson@me.com. You know of Tuesday. You're on the webinar right now. You're just going to keep on getting notifications from now on. Love you always. Having a kick-ass time waking up in your mind. Oh, yes. I'm so grateful for you. Ah, Asana. Yay. I'm so glad you joined. It's so fun to have you. Oh, you're a blessing to me too, Cynthia. Thank you so much. Oh, yes. See, heart-quest.co.in, and that's from Raj. Thank you, Raj, for sharing that. I don't know what it is, but heart-quest.co.in. Yay. So until next time, I had a wonderful time. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining. You're all so beautiful, and thank you for awakening in my mind. Mahalo, aloha, and a hui ho. Yay.